Okay, so I would like to work on some AI stuff for like building navigation of enemies. So first I'm going to create a different level. I don't want to use the same one. So under levels, I'll create a new folder called um, AI navigation. I'll just call it AI interior. This is going to involve walls and doors. So AI interior level. So I'm going to open that up. So currently this has nothing in it, so I'm going to have to add some stuff: sky, atmosphere, skylight, directional light, and I'll add a plane. And the plane's going to be first. I'll set everything to 0, 0, 0. So the directional light, let's bring it up so I can see it. And make sure I select the female order. Play. You can log in. So first, I want to create a camera. want to give it a bird's eye view. Why won't it let me rotate? Oh, there we go. So I'm going to rotate it down. Okay, so I'm going to put cube into the scene. And I'm going to make it 0, 0, 0. The reason I'm doing that is because I have nothing, I have no visual reference as to what the camera's looking at. So if I select the camera actor again, in the view I can see there's something here. Okay, I can sort of see something. I want to change the color of the ground. So what do I have here? Try sandstone. I'm gonna look for it. Oops. Gonna copy. I'll go back into my AI interior level folder. I'm gonna paste it. I'm gonna copy it. And I'm gonna rename it to AI interior ground mat. So I'm gonna set the material to the AI interior mat, which is right now it's the exact same thing, just a different name. But I'm going to open up the new one that I just created. And I need to bump up where is it? So the texture coordinate. I'm going to select all of these. change the values here. I always forget which direction I have to change it, if I have to go higher or lower. I think it's higher, so I'm going to put it at 10. Let's see what that looks like. So if I go back, okay, I can start to see the ground more. I'm going to bump it up a lot more. I'm going to bump it up to like, let's just say 200. And save. So if I look at it now, okay. So if I grab the camera actor, I can see what the camera's looking at, so it sees the ground, and also I can see where this cube is. That's why it's sort of important to like give the ground a different color. Another thing that I'm going to do is, with the camera selected, if I go into my blueprint, I go to my event graph, and I'm going to go all the way up to event begin play. Here I'm going to right click, and that's not what I'm doing. I think I select it here and drag it into the blueprint. No, that didn't work. Camera actor. Select the camera actor. Camera actor. You have to start this way. Set new. Okay, so I figured out how to do it. Because I turned the camera into an actor, I have to do get all actors of class, and it's going to be AI interior cam, and it will be cast to AI interior cam. I'm gonna pull out here, get a copy, plug that in. To get player controller, and from here I'm going to get set view target with blend. Blend time is going to be 0, it's going to be instantaneous. So basically all I'm doing is I'm going to plug this camera, this new camera that I created, into here. So what that's doing is at the very beginning of the game, event begin play, it's going to switch from this camera to this camera. And I'm just doing this temporarily, just for this particular tutorial, because I want to see the behavior of AI from a bird's eye view. Because if I'm looking through this camera, then I can't see what's going on between or behind all the walls that I'll be creating. As to where if just say I play now, the camera's way up here, and my character's way down there, and can see the character move around. I can move the character around all I want, but I will also be able to see all the enemy characters, I guess like far off into the distance, like behind all the walls and everything that I'll be creating. So that's number one. First of all, I'm actually going to bring the camera up even higher. It's going to be even more much higher angle. I can really see, I can build a lot of walls. Now people can see what's going on. Okay, so with that done, I'm going to go into project settings. I want to create one type of trace. And under trace channels, I'm going to create a new trace. Default response is going to be ignore, because I want, if I go block, then everything is going to block this new trace. So I want everything, I want to be ignored by default, so that way only the objects I want, I can just go in there and switch it to block. And this is going to be called walls. Accept. And I'm going to quickly grab this cube, zoom into it, and if I compare it to the player capsule, the player star capsule, it's really short. I want the walls to be much bigger, so let's just say make the walls like 3. Oops. I'll go ahead and change the Quasar profile, so custom, and it's going to block walls. I'll block everything else. So go into top view, and I'll start laying these out. So So if I go hit play now, and you can see the player, but the entire maze is not in view. So I'm going to select the camera. I'll bring it up. Let's do a top-down view. It's easier. So if I hit play, you can see the entire maze. Actually, I didn't get the whole thing. Okay, so if I play now, that's a pretty good angle, I think. Except the controllers are kind of. If I press up, she goes right. So for her, okay. Anyways, that's not important right now. So I'm going to close some of these tabs at the top. So right away, I'm going to start adding some enemies. I'll start with the enemy without any weapon. So I'll place one right here. Zoom into him, make sure he's above ground. Okay, looks pretty good. So if I press play, automatically he starts running to the player, which is good. Actually, I'm going to adjust this camera again because I think I can fit more into view. it's okay. If I press play, it automatically runs to the player. Okay, one thing I'm going to do is first I'm going to unplug this camera, so it's just the camera for a second. What I'm going to do is in the Android Fighter, I am going to create a custom event. It's going to be called look at player rotation tick. Look at player, oops. Let's call it look at player and then I'll call it up in the event tick. I guess I'm not showing it. Oh, look at player. Look at player tick. Okay. So this is constantly being fired, and as it's being fired, first I need add a scene, which is an empty object, and I'm going to call it look at player start. So this is dead in the middle of the transform location 000, which is basically at the spine base of the enemy. So what I'm going to do is I'll get a sequence, and I'm not sure if I'm going to need any more pins, but I'll just put it in here just in case. I'm going to do line trace by channel, and this is going to be called, oh sorry, the channel is going to be walls. So start is going to be look at player start, get world location, and for the end I'll just go to my female warrior. Just going to grab copy and paste this. Okay. So the end is going to be get world location, and it's going to go forward instead of 10,000. I'll put like 300. I don't want it to be too huge. Actually, no, I do want it to be big. This one I want it to be really big. And this is going to be debug type for one frame. I want to create a boolean called wall detected. And actually, I want to change the name of this to wall detector tick. And this starting point is going to be called vector start. So from here, from this point right here, it's going to be a forward trace of 1000, and I'm going to go out hit. Oh, sorry, wall detected. Split stroke pin, and I'm just checking to see if wall is detected. So, in order for all of this to happen, anything that I've coded before in terms of like running towards or walking towards the player, it only happens if wall is not detected. If wall is detected, then I'm going to copy and paste. Where is it? This one right here, just the idle. The set actor location is 0, so it doesn't move, and the idle animation is looped. This is temporary. This is the thing that's going to change as I work on this. This is right now I'm setting it to stand in one position, just idle, but this is actually going to be if wall is not detected, or I mean if wall is detected, then it's going to navigate through the maze. So if I go back, what's wrong here? Oh, the forward vector of wall detector start. Okay. If I play now, if I spin my camera, as you can see, the player is running towards me, but as I change position, that that line trace is following me. That's originating from his abdomen. But now, if I grab this Android fighter, and I'll take a whole bunch of these, and I'll just put them all over the place. One, two, three, four. So let's just say I put a whole bunch of these in the level, or in the maze, and then I go back to the female warrior, and then I plug back in the camera switch, so it's no longer her camera, but it's the bird's eye view camera, and I hit play. For the top view, you will see that one player is running towards me, but all the other enemies are not. But I don't know why. made a mistake. Link. So from the event tick, sequence, all these have to be plugged in here. So because I put this at the front, these were being affected, but these should not be affected. This is only affecting the enemy actions. It shouldn't be affecting wall detector tick or is not closest enemy tick. Okay, so if I play now, as you can see, they're all running towards me. They should not be running towards me. Oh, I know why. Because I got this backwards. Where is it? So if wall is not detected, then that means basically if there's no wall detected, that means the player is visible to the enemy. If wall is detected, then the player is not visible to the enemy, so the enemy is busy trying to navigate through the walls or through the maze. So if I play now, it should only be the one enemy at the bottom that is following me, but all the other enemies are they have a trace. But the trace isn't following me. Why is the trace not following me? It is because okay, so I know what I'm missing. This is the first thing that I should have done, but it's not. I need to get move component to. So the one thing that needs to be happening, because the trace is coming from this empty object, it's a scene, right? So it's basically just an empty object with a name. This wall detector start needs to constantly be rotating towards the player, regardless of whether or not wall is being detected or not. So the component is the wall detector. Look at rotation, look at rotation. So the start is going to be get world location of this component. That's going to be the start. And let's copy and paste this. So it's the player, and I'm getting the caps lock component of the player, and I'm getting the world location. So this is the look at rotation that plugs into the rotation here. And get world location. I'm going to plug that in there. I'll just leave the time to 0.2 seconds. So if I press play now, that is not correct. I just plug this in. It's going haywire. Why is it going haywire? Okay, it seems to be working now. I used the set world rotation node with a wall detector start added here in the target, and I'm using a rotation interpolation 2, or inter. So I'm getting the wall detector start, and I'm getting the relative rotation as the current. And in the target, I'm putting just the x and y of the relative rotation. And for the z, I'm getting the actor's location and the player's location. So from the actor to the player, that's the lookout rotation, and I'm just grabbing the z and plugging that in. And it has to be this node. So if I play now, as you can see, if I move around, the all the traces follow me. The only problem is, if I go this way, and the player at the bottom, he's if he's facing me, oops, if he's hitting a wall, then he stops moving because he's detecting a wall. So what I need to do in this case is because he's that trace is always rotating towards me, I'm going to create another trace. Default is ignore. I'm going to call it player. And accept. And in the female warrior, I'm going to select the capsule, and I want to set player to block. And I'm also going to set it for the mesh. I probably don't need to do this, but I'll just do it just for just to be on the safe side. Compile. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this. Let's plug this in. But this one, it's going to be the trace shell is going to be player, and I'm going to create a boolean called player detected, and I'm going to set this over here. So this only works let me think about this for a second. So what do I have over here? I have if wall is not detected, and but player is detected, I'm going to do all this. So as before, all the traces are pointed at me. The guy's following me. As soon as I go this way, that does not work. If let me think. Okay, I'm gonna have to make it more complicated. Right now, I'm gonna delete all this and just leave what I had before, which was if wall is detected, then do this. Just stand there, but if it's not detected, then go towards enemy. Just leave that there for now. But first, I need to create two variables. Distance to wall wall, let's say wall distance to wall hit. Change that to a float, and distance to player hit, and that's also a float. So right next to this one, player detected, I'm going to set distance to the player hit, and it's going to be out hit distance. And for the wall, it's going to be distance to wall hit. I set that, and that's going to be set to out hit distance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to utilize those to determine what needs to be done. So I'm going to pull this way out, just give myself some room. So if wall is hit, and wall is hit, wall is detected and player is detected. If player is not let me think for a second. So if there's no wall being detected, then it can go here. But in the case that a wall is detected, it could be detected in two situations where the enemy is detecting wall from inside the building, or the enemy is detecting the wall outside the building because they're facing the character that's beside the building. And this true is where I have to worry about what's going on. So if player is detected, then actually I do have to worry about it here as well. So if player in the situation wall is not detected, I can just leave it like that. If the wall is detected and the player is also detected, if this is false, then actually the player is always going to be detected. So the player detected is not required. I can get rid of the player detected. So branch, if distance to wall hit is greater than distance to player hit, so if the wall's further away than the player, that means the player is visible, so therefore it's going to go into here. However, if this is false, then it's going to check if the distance to wall hit is smaller or equal to player hit. And if that's the case, then it's going to do this. So, play now. So all the enemies are trying to trace for me. And as soon as I go this way, even though that enemy is detecting that wall, it's still coming towards me because my distance, the distance of the player, is still closer than the wall. And if I go this way, Okay, that looks fine. Okay, so okay, now that that's working, I need to create. Now this is the fun part. So basically, I made it so that if wall is not detected, or if wall is detected but the player is closer than the wall, then do all this stuff. But let's just say the wall is detected, but the wall is closer than the player. And so far, I just have this idle animation. But what I need to do is I need to disconnect this, and I need to give it instructions as to what it should do while it's in the building or the maze or whatever. And this is the fun part. But before I do that, I have to create another wall detector. I need to create four more of these. At this time, first I'll just copy, paste. This one's going to be not from the wall detector, because the wall detector is constantly rotating towards the player. What I need is, I want to create another scene. And this one's going to be called Wall Detector No Rotation. So the whole idea of this is that even though the character's rotating, it's always going to stay unrotated. But how is that possible if the character is rotating? Because if the enemy rotates, then this should rotate too. So, in the same way that I created this, I need to get a set world rotation. But instead of having it rotate towards the player, it's going to be, as you can see, the rotation is 0, 0, 0. The rotation is, let me think for a second. I'm going to temporarily add a cube, and this cube is going to be parented to that scene that I just created, wall detector no rotation. And I'm going to make this really small. Not really small, but I want to make it like this. If I play now, I can see the cube over here. So obviously if I play, as I move, the enemy rotates. So the cube doesn't rotate, even though the enemy is rotating, which is good. that's exactly what I want. So I'm going to delete that cube. So this the rotation is constantly 0. And what I want to do is get rid of this wall detector. I'll get wall detector, no rotation. And I'm going to do a line trace about 500. So I'll create 1, 2, 3. Get rid of these. So let's plug these in one by one. So these are set to 500. So forward vector, this one's 500, so 500 forward. I'll make this one minus 500, so 500 backwards. And then the right vector, get right vector. So 500 right. And this one's going to be right vector. This one's going to be minus 500, so it's going to be 500 in the left. So because I have these 4 line traces, and they all have for one frame turned on, if I play now, then I can see a cross shape. But the cross shape doesn't change. It doesn't rotate. It stays. What I want is I want the trace to be forward. So this could be north, east, south, and west, because all the walls that I'm dealing with right now are going to be all rectilinear. I'm not going to do any curved architecture or anything. It's going to be all rectilinear. So it's checking for a wall behind, side, and front. So that is why it's constantly fixed in the XYZ whatever coordinates. So what I need to do is I need to create a Boolean. We'll call north wall detected, and we'll give it a capital N for north. This is going to be a Boolean. I'll create another one called wall detected east. Wall detected south. And wall detected west. So, starting with the top, if he's facing forward, then it's going to be north, if there's a wall in front of the character in the positive Z, then it's going to be wall detect north. If there's a wall in the negative Z relative to the player, then it's going to be wall detected south. Wait a minute. Yeah. Forward vector minus, okay. Forward vector, right vector 500, that's in the east. And right vector negative would be in the west. So, just to quickly show you what needs to be coded, out of all the walls, oops, you see it go to this top view, out of the 4 possibilities, north, south, east, and west, there could be 15 different combinations. One combination is the enemy surrounded by 4 walls, the enemy surrounded by no walls, the enemy surrounded by a north wall, surrounded by an east wall, a south wall, a west wall, a north and south, an east and west, a north and east, east and south, south and west, west and north. It could be north, south, east, north, south, west, west, south, north, and west, south, or west, east, south. And I believe there's a total of 15 possibilities, and that's what I'm going to code for. Okay, so now that I have these 4 traces, I have, and it's telling me which walls are detected. I need to go up here now, where it says wall detected, but this, the wall, the distance to wall is closer than the distance to player. So that means it's in the building, and it needs to know what to do. So in the sequence, I'm going to create a sequence, and I'm going to have 15 different pins. And each one's going to have a branch. And I want to set each of these. So set, 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 and set. And all of these need an oops. And boolean. There's the, oh sorry. Get, 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 and get. And these need an and. And this is also and. So if all of these are true, just say they're all four sides are detecting a wall. Then this is going to be, whoops. However, so this is if all the walls, but let's just say none of the walls. So these are all knots. So this is the situation where none of the walls, no walls are detected. Basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to move this way up so I have lots of space. And I'm basically going to create, I need a total of 15, so I'll create 13 more of these. So 1, 2, So this makes it easy for me because all I have to do now is just delete the knot booleans that I don't need. Okay, so with all that done, so first one is all walls are detected, no walls are detected. This one would be if only the west wall was detected. This one is only the east wall is detected. So I'm actually just checking this off on my sheet of paper here. So I've got east, west. This one's if only the east and west are detected. Oh, I did this wrong. I'm gonna do this. Sorry. So the first one is only the east is detected, so only one knot. And this one is only the west is detected. This one is east and west is detected. This one is the north is detected. This one is south is detected. This one is north and south is detected. And this one's north, east, south. Northeast, south is detected. This one's north, south, west is detected. This one's north, west, and east is detected. This one's southeast and west is detected. This one's north and east is detected. East and south detected. This one's west and north detected. Actually, I need one more. There's a total of 16 possibilities, not 15. Let me just count that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, yep, 16. And the last one is south and west detected. So going to create another sequence. And I'm going to make this the second thing. The first thing that it's going to do is it's constantly going to move forward. I'm going to make it run. So it's constantly going to move, it's going to run forward. The question is, where is it going to rotate depending on these booleans? So if all walls are detected, doesn't matter which way, I want to create a boolean called can run. I guess by default I'll just set it to true. So it can run. If getRun is true. So this can happen. It can start running wherever it's facing, if this is true. But if there's 4 walls, there's nowhere to go. So I might as well set canRun to false. In the case where there's no walls, then I need to find a way to pick a direction. But I'm going to come back to that because I'm going to create probably booleans. For this one, I'm going to try setting after rotation. Set after rotation. I think this is the same one. Same one as, where is it? The same one that's used when it's rotating to the player. I want to use that one, except, sorry, it's in the wrong. For now, the first ones that I'm going to work on are the ones where this one still has 3 walls, so I need to use a boolean. 2 walls boolean. I need the ones where there's only like 1 wall detected. So that's the easiest one to start with. So I'll start with these ones down here. So this one is only the west wall. Oh, sorry. I need to start with the ones where 3 walls are detected. That means, just say I grab this player. He's standing forward, so these Z is 0. But if I turn it right, which is east, then it's 90. If I go all the way, it's 180. But as soon as I go that way, and if I face west, then it's minus 90. So the answer is easy. If there's no wall detected in the west, then I'm going to split in, and the Z is going to be minus 90. If, however, the only wall that's not detected is the east, and the Z needs to be positive 90, so I'll change that to 90. if the only wall that's not detected is south, then the z needs to be 180. And if the only wall that's not detected is in the north, then it needs to be 0. Okay, so here, so far I have 5 of the 16 set. So I need 11 more. So the first one, all I'm doing is can't run. If this is not true, then I obviously need to set it to can run. So I need to toggle it back on. If, however, no walls are selected, if no walls are detected, then I'm just going to use a float. Called which direction. And set it to float. By default, we're saying set it to float. Compile. By default is going to be set to 1. In this case, I have 4 non-detections, so I need 4 booleans. Of course, I mean 4 branches. So branch if which direction equals 1. I'm trying to keep everything as close as possible. If which direction equals 1, and then I'll set direction to north. So direction is going to be 0. And I'm going to do sequence. Where it says the rotation set to 0, but which direction? It's going to be set to 2. If this is, so basically I'm going to copy and paste this 3 times. And I'm going to plug in the false into the next branch. So if this is false, then it checks for the next branch. this. So the second one is if this is equal to 2, which is east, then this is set to 3, and this is going to be 90 degrees of the z. If this is 2, then this is going to be set to 3, which is going to be south, so 180. If this is 3, then this is going to be set back to 1, so that it loops back around. And this one's going to be in the west, so minus 90. Okay, so far so good. So I've got that one down. In a situation where I've got 3 options. This is tricky. So this one is if only the east wall is detected. So I've got north, south, and west. North, south, west. So north and south are on the same axis, west is on the different axis. So I'll say if it equals 1, I'll say 1 or 2. And or William. Then it's going to be west, which is minus 90. Actually, no, I'm not going to do it like this. All I'm going to do is make this nice and straight. And I'm going to copy and paste this for all of them. So if it equals 1, it's going to be west, so minus 90. If it's 2, it's also going to be west, minus 90. Actually, in this case, the only one that needs to change is the east. So the east can be changed to west. So north, east, east is going to be changed to minus 90. So out of the 4, 2 of them are west, and then it's north and south. So it's not perfect, but it's going to work, I think. I should grab this. Whoops. I should grab this first one. this case, if west is the only one that's detected, that means north, east, south, west. This is going to be changed to east. So there's two possibilities for east, one for north, one for south, but 0 for west. So I'll move all this up. This one is north, only north and south, which are the east and west, are detected. So I'll make the first and second one 90 degrees, and the last two minus 90. So there's two possibilities for east and two possibilities for west. Plug this one in. This one is only north is blocked. So I'm going to duplicate the south, which is 180. So the first one is going to change from 0 to 180. So two possibilities for south, and no possibilities for north, and one possibility for east and west. This one here. North and south walls are, oh sorry, this one is, if south wall is detected, that means the south is going to be set from 180 to 0. These ones are all good, and I need more space for the last 4, so I need to grab everything. And drag everything up. Whoops. So this one's north and east are blocked. So I need 2 south and 2 west. So the first one can be south. The second one can be a west. And okay, that's good. This one is east and south are detected, so I need 2 north and 2 west. So north, this one could be west, this one could be north, and this one could be west. And I need just one more, but do I have enough room? Oh, I need 2 more. just plug this in. This one is north and west is detected. So therefore I need an east and a south, or 2 east and 2 south. So the first one could be a south, got an east, a south, and this one can be an east. And I got one last one. So this one, detecting south and west, so I need a north, 2 north, 2 east. So north, east, north, and east. Okay, I think I'm done. Okay, so I'm going to compile this. And I'm going to save all. Go back into perspective view, save. So I'm going to hit play, and I'm going to see what these guys are doing. Okay, so they're all moving. But one came through the wall. And some of these guys are stuck in the wall. I need more of a bird's eye view. So I'm going to go into, I don't know if it's the front or, so I can see, I made the thing really small here, so I can actually see what's going on in my viewport. So I'm not going to move the character, I'm just going to see what all these characters are doing. And some of them get stuck in the wall. And some of them come out of the wall. That's the collision profile of this thing. Blocking walls good. It blocks pawn, all dynamic, static. I'm going to try making the trace a lot. A little bit smaller. So I've got 4 traces here. The trace size is 300. If I play, yeah, those are unnecessarily big. 300, 300, minus 300, and 300, and on top of that, instead of getting them to run, I'm going to get them to walk. Get them to slow down a bit. Should be this one. Shall just don't have this. I may want to reuse that. This is the same one. This one's running. Oh, okay, I just need to change this value to 20. So if I press play, they're not going anywhere. Why is it not going anywhere? I know what the problem is. If I go, if just say which direction equals 1, then it sets it to 2. Because it's set to 2, it jumps to this one, which I don't want. So what I want is a do once node. Because this is going through a tick. So this needs to be reset if all this is false. So I'm just going to copy and paste this. This is taking a while. Paste. Oh, it's taking a long time. missing one. I need to grab this thing, and I'm going to put it right here. Move it over. And this one is if north and south are blocked, that means I need 2 east, 2 west. So this one could be 90. Oops. 90, 90, minus 90, minus 90. Okay, let's come back once this is all hooked up. Okay, so I'm gonna compile. It's taking a while, and I'm gonna hit play. So all the characters, they're all moving in one direction. As soon as there's a change in their detection, they change direction. Sometimes it looks like they get stuck in a corner or something. They still get stuck in the wall, or they get stuck in a corner. I don't know. They're stuck in that corner, and I don't know how to fix it. I'm going to cut it off right here because this video is way too long. Next video is going to be the refinement of this. But yeah, I'm going to cut it off. Video is way too long. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Okay, thanks.